It's all good. We listen. We awake. You know what I mean? We awake. We awake on this conversation.
Tap in. Here she goes.
It was expected. Look, I'm gonna just throw it out there. You know, women. You know, we always prepare for women to be on time, but kind of late. So that's okay.
I didn't know. I was sitting here waiting on time. I was like,
thank you so much. I want to give you the proper introduction for everyone out there. Thank you for joining the FloWay show tonight. Ms.Hitch, she's a mental toughness, love and lifestyle coach. Her book, Why Married Men Cheat, is an Amazon #1 bestseller. You're known as the relationship game changer.
That's right.
They call you, right?
That's right.
Show us some love in the comments. Show us some love. Let's welcome Danielle Metcalf, a.k.a. known as Ms.Hitch, to the FloWay show. Thank you, Queen. Thank you for joining me. Much love. How are you? How are you today? How was your day today? We're going to start it out like that.
My day was good. What about you?
It was great. We ran a few errands, and then I tried to go to the grocery store, and I couldn't. Like, I went to like 3 different stores, and people were in there just like buying up stuff. Like, it's about the end of the century. A snowstorm, snow is affecting the states, and I'm in North Carolina, so you know I'm originally from New York, but I'm in North Carolina right now, and people here, you know, they overreact. You get a little rain, and people they think that stuff is gonna be shut down for weeks. So it was funny to see that, as always. But we here tonight.
California. I mean, you know, it never rains in Southern
California. That's my jam. You know, we got a lot to cover today. I want to get right into it.
We do.
For our listeners, what exactly is a mental toughness coach, love coach?
A mental toughness coach, you know, we get confused by coaches, and you know, life coaches, they're out there growing on trees. But you know, I don't believe that you can really coach one's life. I think if you rewire them mentally, you know, and change the thinking, then coach your own life. But we, you know, life coaching, just give you just 2 examples. It's more of the motivation, the rah side. Mental toughness, we coach the downside. We coach the what if it could happen. You know, life is not linear. You know, this could happen. We give you the what ifs and coach the what ifs, even if it haven't been it yet. So that's what mental toughness coaching is. We just direct, you know, it's like the Navy SEAL, you know, is we go direct at the problem, we solve it, we turn you into a solutionaire so that when things come up, you solve. You just don't, you know, maintain, but solutionaire.
Why did you write the book, Why Married Men Cheat?
Well, I wrote the book, Why Married Men Cheat, is because I was a wife and I had a husband that was a serial cheater at that time. Okay. I interviewed real men who were married, including my ex-husband, and they told me their stories on why they cheated. So, you know, I don't want people to think that, you know, it's some black scorn woman. That's the first thing they do, writing on why men cheat or why married men cheat. No, it was their story that they told, and they gave on the reason why they did what they did. And it was, you know, everyone pretty much had a different story. So, you know, as you know, the serial cheater, I wanted to, by me being a mental toughness coach, I wanted to get into the mind of the men so that they can tell me in a non-judgmental atmosphere on why they did what they did. And they did. What they did very good. We're telling the stories. And a lot of the stories I asked the men, did your wife know any of this about you? And most of them said no. You know, their reasonings on the why. We get to the why.
What was your approach when you found out that your husband was cheating on you? What was your approach to
Well, you know, we got together very young. I was in my early 20s, and I thought that, you know, when you're in a relationship and you're in your early 20s, you're really underdeveloped. We don't realize how underdeveloped we are. Loyalty is something that must be practiced by someone. and embedded in you. Not you get with someone and then just say you're loyal. So my approach was, he will eventually grow. He will eventually grow up. He will eventually grow out of it. He will grow into something different. You know, I believed in getting gray area of us actually growing into adults and who we were going to become. So in the beginning, I sort of just thought that it will pass because we were so young. But once it continued 12 years later, then it became a problem. You know, it's almost actually like he had, it was almost like an addiction, you know, because his story that, you know, just a little piece of his story, when he said, he was like, listen, because I got his, you know, his story to him. He was like, listen, Ms. Hitch, okay, I was at least 20 minutes a day. I just have to get it off, you know, at least. And once he get it off, you know, he like, life was great. Everything felt great. So it was almost like an addiction thing, almost like getting a high off, you know. And when that happened, you know, when he told me that, I didn't really take it personal, because, you know, most people thinking that, you know, someone cheat, they take it personally. But
what did I do? What is it about me?
Right. But I never really, you know, as years went on, I didn't say why me or it was me. I said, no, it was you, because we can't control another person's behavior. They have their own reasons why they do what they do.
Right. How did you get? How many stories is in your book? How many guys came forward to sit down with you and kind of give you their perspective on why they're cheated and different things like that? How many guys came forward?
Well, I only have about 32, but I only published in the first book, Why Married Men Cheat, 13 chapters. Because I didn't want to make it too long.
Wow. How did you get all these men to open up to you? Because you're a woman. You're a woman, so, you know.
I'm a woman. I'm also very relatable, very transparent, and, you know, I have a way with people that, like, can talk to me, and you. I provide a very non-judgmental atmosphere so that they do feel like it's okay that they can talk, and it is okay because men want to talk as well. Believe it or not, at least 4 of the men, and none of them knew each other, was like, thank you. Whew. Thank you for letting me get my story off. Thank you. I wanted to talk.
It's like a relief.
It was a relief. They wanted to talk about it. You know, we don't let them talk. And I thought it was a good idea to allow them to say what it is that they wanted to say.
And you know, it takes 2 to tango, right? What can you say? What advice can you give to women, right, who are dealing with a married man, knows that she's dealing with a married man? What advice can you give to those women?
Good question, because it does take 2 to tango. Women need, you're correct, and women should have a little bit more standards and value about themselves to value up, because, you know, you don't want someone, you know, entertaining your man. And if we don't entertain the married man, then, and send him back to his wife, then, you know, we can make life a little better, because I've had several married men approach me. I end up talking to them about their wife, like, for real, if you really thought that you can just literally sit here and think we was going to come on now.
Like, can I kick it?
All right. You know, so you just, you know, go where you need to go and be with you. And if you don't want to be there, then don't, you know, but don't, you know, bring in any outside, you know, entities just to cause problems, you know. So I think women should, if the man is, say, you know, if she knows he's married, leave him alone. Have some morals and some values about yourself. But, you know, this life that we're in now, these morals and values is down the drain. Down the drain. Okay? You see it out there. Totally down the drain. Promote that. You know, we promote the why married men cheat and think it's okay. Or we promote the cheated, or he cheated, or we think it's natural, or we think that's something normal, which really is not. You know, we're not promoting discipline within yourselves and knowing your value within yourself. We're not promoting, but I'm here. I'm coming. I'm on my way. I'm the reason, and I'm about to get it together, because somebody needs to get it together out here, because it's ridiculous.
Right. What advice you probably can give the same advice to the women. Like you said, you stuck it out and you dealt with it for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
The women that know that their significant other is cheating and they stick through that and continue to put themselves through that kind of pain. What advice could you give to them to get out that situation?
To get out if a man's cheating?
To get out that situation, yeah, a man's cheating.
Well,
because like you said, you stuck it out for a long period of time.
I did.
Hoping that one day it'll change, and I think a lot of women do that same thing, stick it out, just hoping that that person will change.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say to them that would probably sit, well with them to help them move on from that situation?
It's a value. It's a personal value situation. Once I start to value up and really know who I was as a person and know my value, then I knew that this is not something that I deserve, because it's not something that I actually practice. So if I'm not practicing the same thing that you're practicing, and I'm putting in to be disciplined and to practice discipline and to practice good character, then you just got to leave it alone. You have to know your value. That's just it. Who are you? It goes back personally, on you.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a continuous thing, and if this is something that he's into at that time, and then, you have to know when it's enough. It's enough. Like I said, I went 12 years. I don't know if he was cheating there, but one other thing that you said about the women, he said, listen, Ms. Hitch, my ex-husband said, he said, you need to sit down and make sure you ask these women something. He said, there's something wrong with these women as well. Because he's a lot of them out here that he was able to just, grab and choose, and who didn't care. He was like, there's something wrong with these women too. I was like, woof. Okay. So, it just depends. A lot of people stick it out in relationships too, is because it's a two-way street. Men and women are just in relationships doing whatever, cheating on each other. And like I say, it's a value thing. Who are you? So like I said, when I figured out I was me and who I was, then I said, this is over. And it just wasn't the cheating. The serial cheating goes into a lot. It goes into poor character. It goes into not taking responsibility at home. It goes into spending money, on other women and taking out of the household. So when it kept going on, and now I'm looking up and I'm like, it's 12 years later, I'm still talking to you about the same, that we having the same conversation I did 12 years ago. Then I figured that this is you. This is something you want to do. This is something you want to participate in. So you go ahead. This is not warranted. It's time to let it go. So I coached him through his divorce, and I was divorcing him.
Wow.
To make sure that he was okay, because I realized who I was and I realized my value. So I figured I know you still need me as a friend, but you're just not going to have me as a wife,
Wow.
So let me help you get through this.
Wow. The average person wouldn't have. Wow. It's a lot of fellas on the check-in. So of course, in like he was stating, there's women out here doing just as much cheating as infidelity as men.
Yes.
In your research and from you talking to clients, what are some of the top reasons why you may hear that women cheat on men?
Well, let's get to today's upping the game, because today is very different. I could say from 5 years ago and even 10 years ago. Today, why women are cheating is because we have a lot of outside entities. Social media has gotten out of hand and ridiculously ridiculous. A lot of women are really thinking that I can do what men do. If you can do it, I can do it. It's a whole lot of that, that's going on.
Being pumped into the atmosphere.
Absolutely. It's pumped into the atmosphere. And because, the world's tone, we're not practicing discipline at all. We're not giving anything morally at all. Most women are leaning to the lower side of things. And it's the number one reason I could do what he do. Why would men do it? It's a double standard. I could do it too. And I think it's totally different now. And if a man cheat, then she like, well, I just cheat back, and then that's it. You know, we're reaching for temporary satisfaction. We're not solving the problem. We're adding to it because there's no discipline.
And how do men and women who are serial cheaters face their demons? Do you think that like going to therapy is one of the keys in that? You know, because especially with our people, we don't like to go to therapy. We don't like to sit down and talk out our problems and get help. What do you think? What do you think is the best way for men and women who do have that problem and being serial cheaters to go and get help?
It's the inner thing. And like you said, we don't like to sit and talk about our problems, but we really do. You know, we want to talk to someone about our problems. But like I said, we are so judgmental and so quick to judge someone or to say, talk about somebody or to ask, you know, why you did this or you doing this because this and you did this to this. So it sort of, men don't want to talk about their problems because they feel like they're going to be judged. In the book, I had one other guy because and sometimes the cheating, other than discipline, it goes back to problems. Like I said, mental coaching, I get to the root of the problem. I go in. One guy was molested, okay, when he was 9 by his uncle. So he grew up feeling like I have to make sure that everybody know I'm a man. I'm slanging this thing to whoever he could to just keep proving in life, you know, that he's a man. And he said he gained very low, handsome guy, successful, but he gained low self-esteem, you know, because of it, and cheated on all his wives that he had because it was something that he didn't clear up and he didn't, you know, solve and, you know, talk to someone on what happened to him back then. So, you know, it's different. None of the wives would have ever known that. You just come in people's lives like we do. We don't take it back a few chapters like we should and simply go and ask them questions on why they do what they do and not just jump in and be like, oh, you cheating, you cheating. You know, a lot of times with this stuff, there is a reason for their season. It's reasons why some people and some managers, people are just not practicing discipline. Some of them do it just because they can. And then, you know, a lot of times some men are not satisfied. And sometimes there's like I said, there's a backstory, just like his backstory. You know, and none of his wives, I think he was married like 3 times. They never knew this about him.
What are some of the signs that people should look for to realize that they're in a unhealthy relationship? Because a lot of times people don't know until stuff. Well, maybe they're not paying attention. Maybe if you want to say, but until stuff hit the fan, until it's like, where is this coming from?
Right.
What are some signs? What are some of the things that people should really pay attention to?
You really pay attention to number one, yourself. Okay, be aware, self-awareness for yourself, and then be aware of your partner. We just jumping into relationships and we don't even know the person that we're just really jumping into. You know, just like a man to say, well, you're doing this, you're not making me happy, and you think you cooking and cleaning. Let's just break it down to something simple, and that's making them happy, and that's just not. There's some inner stories. We have to realize that we are all a mere human being. Okay, multi-dimensional beings. We're spirit living this human experience. We are human, whether you're a man or a woman. And men are just as emotional as women. Imagine, they always say, just because you're a man. No, you're a human being. You have to talk. You have to let stuff out. There's things that bother you. There's stuff that you want to get off your chest and talk about as well. But we're not talking to our partners. We're not getting to know our partners. We're not befriending our partners and who we're in a relationship with. We're just getting in, looking for what we want, and we don't see, we don't get what we want, what we came for, then that's it. But we're not getting to know who's in front of us. We just see you for what we can get from you and not see you for who you are. So when you're not talking to people and seeing them for who they are, you miss the mark. And you'll miss it every time. That's why I talk to, it's so many relationships out here. I mean, they empty as a Chick-fil-A on a Sunday. You understand me? It's closed on a Sunday. You understand? Okay, and I'll be like, wait, what?
Listen, I done drove through Chick-fil-A a few times on a Sunday.
Promoted.
It's lonely for sure. damn, it's Sunday again.
Right, exactly. That's what people driving up in these relationships, and it's like, they just empty. We're not befriending each other. We're not befriending and having fun. We just getting in looking for what we want, putting a title on somebody, and think we just it's supposed to. I'm sitting there waiting on you to do something wrong, waiting on you to cheat.
And the people got time frames for stuff.
They have
like, time is ticking. Like I want to get married by this time. Oh, it's cuffing season, so I need to be with somebody. People, a lot of folks seem like they jump into relationships because of a time thing. Is that something that you realize as well?
Hell no, that's ignorant. Okay, that's ignorant. That's ignorant. It's all outdoors. You gotta know yourself. Okay, this is funny. I say, oh, know thyself. You have to know thyself. Okay, check your thirst level. Check your state. Check your discipline.
Check your thirst level.
Okay, if you know you're gonna be here. Nothing have to be rushed. You don't have to be laying up under someone. You don't have to be in the relationship with someone. And people who are like that they're not getting to know themselves. See, the new thing is you need to know yourself and love yourself, because the problem I see in a lot of the people is they never got a chance to get to know who they are, what they want, what their ticks are. Who are you single? Who are you by yourself? You know, can you spend some alone time with you? Do you even like you? Did you ever get a chance to even like you? And most people who always got to be with somebody else don't even like themselves.
They're looking for someone else to like.
Exactly. You want me to like you, and you don't even like you.
Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
No, none of it makes sense.
When you say get to know yourself, right? Let's just say like after a breakup, how soon should someone date again? Because a lot of times, you know, people jump from relationship to relationship. How soon should you probably take? Is it a time frame on that, or is it really not?
It's not really a time frame on it, but it should be some time on it. Okay, did you get that? There's not a time frame on it, but it should be some time.
Big facts.
All right. Get to know who you are single. Know yourself, because I don't care how you slice it, how you dice it. Especially being in a long-term relationship, there are some movements that you do, some talks that you do. There are some behaviors that you didn't realize that you picked up. Let me explain
from that relationship.
Absolutely. And see, when you're talking to me, you're talking to somebody who know, because when I got out of the relationship, out of my marriage, I was molded and said, let me look at something. Let me look over here. Let me look up. No, that's not what I was supposed to do. So I got off that whole dating thing. And I did notice that being in that relationship for so long, I had conformed in some ways, you know, to that relationship, you know, in there, you know, the talk, the walk, the way I move, the way I think, the way I view things, how I saw things, how I dealt with people. You know, I was in a marriage shell and then had to get out of myself in the shell just for freedom with myself. And I have not been in a serious relationship since I've divorced. And I've been divorced about 12 years now.
Wow.
And I'm not around here with no screw buddies either.
Said no, sir.
No. No, sir.
So when a man wants to date Ms.Hitch, right? What is the things that just in women in general? What are some things that women should look for? Because it seems like they say you should do like a full background search these days and things like that on people. Is that the way that it should be done, or
just talk to people? You know, talk to people, because when you know who you are, okay, you can see who they are. You understand? Because I haven't just been single just because ain't nobody lined up. I'm just saying, it's because I can talk to someone and I can see who they are. Even though I've met some fantastic men, you know, men, but having wisdom with yourself, you know who's for you. You know, you can if you know you know yourself. Cause see, now I know a whole lot of me, and I love a whole lot of me. So I can see, because I can see me, I can see you. Because I can see me, I can see you. So I can have a phone conversation with you, just sit down and have a non-judgmental conversation with you as a friend, you know, because that's the problem. We have to approach as friends, and you can get a lot of information from people. You don't really have to do, you know, because I did some math and I don't really have to do a lot of background checking and, you know, a lot of checking in on people. You come sit with me. You know, when you work with intuition and you know a little bit more about yourself, you can feel a person out. We're not using intuition.
Tuition.
We're not using intuition. We just out here going by what we see. And everything is not always what you see. You have to have insight in order to have eyesight, in order to see outside of your sight. With no insight, what you see is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
Did you catch that? You got to have insight in order to have a different eyesight so that you can see outside of this sight.
Mm-hmm. I hope they wrote that down. I'm not gonna repeat it again. When you're in that friend stage, right? When you're getting to know that person, how is it? Because sometimes I think this from talking to sometimes men get scared, right? Off of talking about those goals and those relationships. You know, like goals, and things that you're wanting, that women are wanting. Is it ever too early to talk about that?
No, listen. Okay, this is the problem. We have to stop approaching people all the time from a relationship we're going to be together forever type situation. If we approach people in a fun, friendly situation, let it flow, fun and friendly, those things, that stuff will come in a normal, regular, hypnotic flow. It's going to flow. We're not getting into the flow. We get into the, okay, this is a relationship. I want this. Everybody, you know, when you're single, whoever I meet, I'm in a relationship. I want this, and goals. Goals change. Things,
Mm.
people change. Life change. Okay? Imagine you just got with somebody in this relationship and boom, Corona hit. Now you're sitting in the house. You had all these goals that you was about to run out there and do. No, you're not. It changes. So we have to stop being into such, this is going to be the goal oriented. Goals come along the way as you're in your relational flow. Allow them to come to see what the goals are and what they may be. Because you could have had goals to simply go build another Taj Mahal together. That could change. You could say, well, we want to go over here and build a hotel together. I'm just saying, things change. It's not always the same. That's why people have to work on know thyself, your adjustability quota. Learn how to adjust in life. And life is not linear one way. Relationships are not linear one way. Things change. You have to have a flow. And people are not doing that. We just in it and seeing and then putting these goals. And a lot of times people put up these goals that you can't check off not one of them.
Not one of them. And people go into every relationship with the same goals.
With the same goals. The same.
Everybody's not meant to, some of them goals you have are not meant to be able to accomplish with everyone that you meet.
Exactly. And not only had them goals themselves, oh, I have these goals. Okay, well, good. Those are your goals. And like I said, you haven't even checked off not one of the goals. You waiting on somebody else to come and check off a goal for you. Oh, no. Yeah, no. You got to come.
Looking for a goal secure. Secure the goal. Secure the goal alert.
Exactly. Goal alert, you can forget it. And like you said, come with them same old stale, dry goals that you saw on Instagram or something, but you don't really have your own inner man goals. You know, the goals need to be, you come in with, I'm practicing loyalty. I'm practicing not having sex before I get in a relationship with someone. I'm practicing becoming love. I'm practicing becoming fun myself. So I'm already fun. So fun is not just in the beginning because it's not something you do. It's something you become. I'm fun already. The fun is going to come because I'm fun. It's not something that I just do. And then we be out here, oh, we looking for love. You looking for love. You looking for something that you should already become. Love is a becoming. Like when I show up in your life, I show up, I am love. I exude that. I give that. That's what I give off. I'm not looking for that. I want you to be that as well. But but I'm showing up as that. That's what I do. That's who I am. That's what I give off. So that goes without saying. So that's why I say when you're single and you're by yourself, those are the things that you got to swag and put on. So when you show up, you're showing out. And it's not the same old dry. It's so many dry, stale relationships, you know, and people like, why, Ms.Hitch, well, why are you not with someone? I'll be like, well, why are you with that someone? A lot of them, I'll be like, you shouldn't be. You know, you can, and it's a lot of life that you grow together. You know, of course, I practice these things, and I say practice. You understand? I said, not I have arrived. It's not an ED. Life is a forever learning and growing with thyself. Continuously become more and more. And that's important. More of yourself so you can give more.
Jeez, it's an earful. Somebody sent this to me, and a question that they wanted you to answer. It was pretty much stating like, when someone is like, when you're in a relationship with your partner for a good period of time and that person is not affectionate anymore, right? How do you express that to your partner without it being a fight, without it being something that's gonna damage your relationship even maybe more than whatever it is?
Okay, good question. Get that question all the time. All these stale relationships, they say time go on. And let me start with number one, okay? Your relationship stop when you stop. It gets stale when you get stale. Relationships, you can't just go to CVS and buy one off the shelf and it's ooh, there it is. You understand me? You can't do that. Relationships are built, okay? And building on you, building on it. When you stop building on you, then it stopped going. Okay? So that's why relationships get stale, because you stop building on you. You got content. You just think enough. And number one, that's just it. Number two, if you were somebody for a very long time, okay, FloWay, your way, I wouldn't have it no other way.
She got bars.
Keep me out of anybody's studio, okay? Lord said no.
Let me hit a beat. I got you.
They not. Okay? You gotta have it your way. You can't be in a relationship for years and how do I say it a certain way that you're not intimate, we're not intimate. Come on now, we both human. You know doggone well that we're not having sex, we're not intimate. This thing is stale and dry. And I will tell you like that. You know doggone well we coming up in here, because what you get in a relationship for? Just to be in there, just to you better use that. They not. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Right.
And relationships about fun. We're losing and missing the mark. It's fun. I'm about to get me a man and we're gonna have fun. It's fun. You get in there and you glow up. It's every day. It's okay. We know we got bills or whatever that case may be. We know life happens. We know life is gonna go around. Okay, put a solution to that back and let's keep this rolling, because we ain't got a lot of time around here. Somebody's gonna lose somebody, so we gotta create a good love story. Create a relationship is not we get in, we create bills, problems, and issues. Create a doggone love story. That's what relationships about. If you say I do or I'm gonna commit to this person, commit to committing a love story. What are you doing? That's your relationship goals, instead of all this other stuff that you got rolling up through here. We know we got stuff to do. We know we're going to do this. We know we're going to do that. We know we got that. We got that. We got that. That goes without saying. We grown. Come on now. Some stuff is just a given that we know that's on the table. What's the love story? That's what I want to know. And most people out there don't even have one. They start telling me about their issues, situations, problems, and bills. And I'll be like, what in the? So it ain't no way you tell them. You be like, we ain't had sex in about, yeah, I mean, like, do we got the, I don't have to, if I haven't been with you that long, I shouldn't be still trying to be scared to approach you. Why am I scared? Ask yourself, that's the question you ask. Ask yourself, why am I scared? And then a lot of times, relationships, they lose the way. They get emotional blocks. Something happened. They bog up. emotions. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. You know, now you're in a relationship off of fear. Now you're scared. What's going to happen? Something's going to happen. Instead of talk it out, because okay, you're going to have some disagreements. And even a lot of times you go agree to disagree. So what? That's it. We're different. So in some cases, so we might agree to disagree. Talk about it. Don't let it go and go and go. Solve it. Put a
Linger
to it.
And knock it out the park and move on.
And move on back to it. And then it's like, all right, now what we doing next?
What are we doing next?
Now what's the fun? Fun at, because you have to keep the fun in it. When you bunk and boring, then your relationship gonna be bunk and boring. It's not the relationship, because like I said, you can't go to CVS and choose one off the counter. It's to be built.
What can you say to those who sometimes when, you know, in trying to when people have families, right, trying to create that balance between dealing with the kids and a long time. A lot of people send this kind of question, similar question to me, just about trying to create that balance between the family and the time with your partner.
Okay, that's a question that we always get. Okay, and me being so entrepreneur, and I used to have a whole lot on my table, and you know, I've raised by God's good grace a wonderful daughter. You know, now you have to be conscious of. Most women have kids. Now they become a whole entire mother. Okay. Now they
get to be.
And I tell women, it's not about titles. It's about you being more you and becoming you. It's obvious you got a child. So that's a responsibility that you have to care for mentally and financially. Okay. So you have to continue to be all you can be so you can give more and be all you can be for them. Take the titles off of it and know that this has to be a balance. We're going to balance these kids because we can't let you can't give kids too much and too much time either, because they need a balance in their lives as well. And most people don't raise their kids for the world and raise them to learn how to live without you. Most mothers raise their kids for them.
Independent.
Exactly. To need. I raised my daughter at all costs and all cases to live without me. And like I said, by God's grace, she is doing a wonderful job. Because that's the way I raised her, not to be dependent. That's sickening. That's a hindrance. So with that being said, when you raise them to live without you, you know how to give them their independence and their space, but still be their guide and make sure that they're good and still maintain a relationship with your husband, your man, your baby daddy, whoever, all in the same token. Everything in life is a balance, and most people don't know how to balance. It's, you know, I got to be all mother. I have to be the best mother. No, you just have to be the best person that you can so that they can get the best of you, and everybody around you can still get the best of you.
Best of you.
Yes, and it's not overwhelming that you kids, because a lot of times kids don't want you around all the time like that anyway.
Mm-hmm. They want that freedom too.
Yes, and they
gotta give them that space.
And they need that. They need that in order to learn and grow and be in different situations as well. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's a balance. And
y'all hear that, ladies? Y'all hear that, ladies? Keep that balance.
Keep that balance.
When you have a kid, when you have a baby, you gotta still be able to keep that balance.
Absolutely. Keep that balance. Get a nanny, get somebody. You know you have a kid, then that responsibility is gonna come. Somebody's gonna have to watch them every day because you can't be there. Oh, I gotta have her with me all the time. Okay, you're sick. You have that's a sick thing. That like the kids are not a puppy. They're a human being that need to learn and grow on their own, not just be stuck to a mother's wing. You just got them around and they're up under you. It's unfair. Because you hinder them. Because I can see the difference in a lot of people's kids. They're not even leaving the house. I'm like, your kid could never, your kid 18, 19, they could never leave the house. I mean, they still don't, it's no way. It's no way. You didn't train them to leave the house. You train them to live for you. So there you go. Now you don't complain about them that they're still there because you trained them to be there, not to be there. Mm-hmm. So,
that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you train them there, then there's the balance right there.
Right.
There's the balance. You know, I ain't training you for me. I'm training you for them. Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right. We go. Ms. Hitch is laying it down tonight.
I lays it down all the time. I talk above. Nobody's saying what I'm saying. They just trying to, everybody with excuses and, oh, do this. Let's get out of excuses. Let's get into being the best that we can be so we can be the best who we can for others and treat each other well. This is what life is about. This is what we are supposed to do. We're missing the mark. Be all that you can be. Love yourself so you can love on everybody around you. It's, it's freedom. Freedom.
You have to know to when to be sensitive to your partner.
Yes.
To your partner's feelings, to your partner's wants, and different things like that. You have to know it's just about creating that balance. Give what you want to give. My fiance, she showed me something yesterday, and it was about in Tennessee. I don't know if you came across it yet. They proposed a bill for men to be able to stop abortions. What is your take on that?
For who to be able to stop abortions?
Men, for the father of the child to be able to stop abortions.
My take on that, I think that was a good bill to pass. Because let's take it back to responsibility. Because they say women's rights, I can do what I want to do with my body and all this. Yeah, I get all that. Okay, we get it. However, a man should have a say so. If a man want to stop you from having an abortion, you should have protected yourself you should have protected yourself from having a baby at all costs if you didn't want to have one. Let's start there. Okay, so it goes back to you, and it goes back to responsibility. You should have protected yourself if you did not want to have any more kids. Do you understand me? So now, if he impregnated you, and if he wants the baby, he should have a right to say so. That's just my opinion on that. And I know women be like, women's rights, I'm going to do what I want to do with my body. Well, make sure your body ain't producing no kids then. Let's start there, if you didn't want it. And if the man want to have a say so on that, I think he should. I think he should. Fathers need rights. Fathers need more rights. Men need more rights. We giving all this with these kids, Men need rights with their kids. You both are equal to this child.
Yeah, me and my fiance, we had a long conversation about it, and it was just like, it was one of those things where, because they were saying that the men should be able to take the women to court, and it'd be a legal process. That's pretty much what's in the bill, a legal process of it. Do you think that there should be some kind of contract if the woman decided to keep the baby, or how do you just feel like you didn't protect yourself, you got pregnant, you should move forward with keeping the baby?
I mean, we grown, and why are you having contracts? See, it goes back to self-responsibility of us out here running the mill, running them up, and just having sex and having babies and thinking that this is a game. Take personal responsibility. It's crazy. It's dumb that you have to literally get a contract, with something like that. Why can't we just discuss this as two adults? What's wrong? We are adults. We are grown out here. You out here having sex. Sex could produce. Mm-hmm. Okay, so take personal responsibility. If I say, yeah, you got pregnant, if a man baby, yeah, if you want it, you should keep it. Shouldn't be no contract, legal, going back and forth to work. We got to start taking responsibility. This is ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. The world, as you can see, is lending excuses. They're lending ignorance.
I was reading the comments, and the comments was crazy. The comments was like, oh, well, he should pay a certain amount of money for her to carry it and different things like that. And this would be compensation for the woman to keep the baby. It was just crazy. The feedback on that.
Yeah, because we out here, the world is lending excuses. How about if we just grown and we adults and we just take responsibility for what we do? You understand? Because, see, I had one kid, and I said, ooh, this relationship don't look like I should have another one. And he used to say, you have me a son? I'm like, son, the only son I'm going to have for you is Jesus. You understand me? The son, you need some Holy Ghost, boo. I am not about to do such a thing. I know. And I did not. I took responsibility as a person, as a human being, to make sure that I protected myself to not do so. Simple as that.
Right.
What are we doing? We inhumane with all this inhumane stuff. Oh, we got to have contracts. Oh, we should. Why? Grow up. Grow up. That's what I say.
And ladies, let the men see the child. Let the men take care of the child. You know, when relationships don't work, people get bitter. People want to keep the children away from, you know, and you know, that's
sick. It's like, you're correct, because I deal with a lot of cases like that, and these women, and I'm like, are you serious? You can't see the child, or you got to get money down. You know, they thinking babies is money. Let me just, you know, I can have this baby. I got me some child support. It's gonna work. Baby,
get paid, and that's
yeah,
it.
I'm gonna get paid. You know, and they treating, and they just popping babies and having babies like you know, like whales out there. You're popping Tic Tacs in a whale mouth. You understand me? I'm like, are y'all, you got a human mind, a human mindset, and then we get them when they grown, and you like, oh, who grew you up? Didn't nobody teach you nothing? No, because we just have them. We think it's a game. We think it's funny, and like you said, women, make sure these men who want to see their kids and be in their lives, make sure they still create a relationship with them. Just like I did with my daughter. Just because I ain't gonna be with you, I still made sure that I had to be in that. Not call your daddy, do this. No, let me make sure and take responsibility that I guide you in maintaining a relationship with your daddy. Because that's what you should, and that's what you're supposed to do. Not none of this bitter, batter, this, that, none of that. And I didn't do no child support, any of that either. Because I'm just like, I'm about to go to court and have the court order mine and do this. Because at the end of the day, guess what? I chose you to be with you and have a baby by you. So I'm responsible just as much as you. So I'm not even about to dig in your check. We're going to leave that alone. And if you want to give, the collection plate will be passed.
Hello.
The collection plate will be passed. Pass the plate.
She said we take cash, certified checks.
All right, however you want to send it and get it to her. Hand is open if that's what you want to do. And if it's something that you don't choose to do, then that's fine. That's up to you. You live that.
You're going to make it happen regardless.
Yeah, I got it, because I did this too. This is my responsibility too. So I let me do what I need to do.
Take notes, people. Take notes. Ms.Hitch, you have said it all. You have said it all. You have dropped them gems. I know some people probably mad at you.
I want to make it. No, be responsible for thyself. You know why I say it? It's because I'm just a mere human being out here too. I didn't grow up with no silver spoon, no this, that. I had to go through the process as well. I had to go through. So if I could do it, that's why I'm so passionate about it, you know, and get into it and do it, then we can too. So we can make this a better place and stop making people's lives miserable. A lot of people's relationships is miserable. I'll be like, you have to know and take some of these notes. Go into a relationship as a servant. You're going to serve, and you're going to do all that you can to make that significant other's life easy. That's what you showed up for. The world is already against us. Why would I come in a relationship in my house and choose and decide to commit to someone to make it miserable or to not make it better? Why would my mindset even think to do that?
Doesn't make sense.
Yes, we can't go in and look for what we want. We have to go in and see what's needed, serve, do it, and get it done. Because when you make life about him or her, then they make it about you. Make it about them, it'll be about you. Go in and serve. Go in and see what the problem and be the solution to make it better so you can grow into a solid relationship between you both. That's your relationship goals. Write that down.
The same way you could go serve in your church.
Huh?
I said the same way you could go serve in your church and go serve in your relationship.
The same way you serve on that doggone job.
job,
up.
commitment
And
to
you
the job.
yeah, you serving at the job. You show up on time. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, master. Okay, let me do this. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And then you go home and roll over and roll your eyes at whoever you land. And yeah, exactly. I guess we're valuing, checks and money, but we are the people who make the checks and money. So you got to check your balance, and you got to make sure that you serve the person, the human being that's next to you, because this human life is the one that's gonna make the checks and the balance. Not that doggone job. Y'all got it wrong and backwards. How you motive. Because when that job shut down and tell you a bald face, take this to $25 on your last check, and you go, then you going back home to that human being. Now what? You just rolled your eyes this morning.
Now you got to creep in the door and be like,
And it shouldn't even have to be that way. You should be coming home, skipping through the door, doing backflips, all of that kind of stuff. You should be doing all of that. Every day, every night. Hey, oh yeah, glad. Oh, you made it home one more time.
Yeah. Again, it's all about commitment. Relationships have their ups and downs. You're gonna go through some stuff, but never stay there. Never stay there. Thank you so much, Ms. Hitch. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the gems you dropped. I know a lot of people are listening and have took notes. How can men, because you help men and you help women, what's your matchmaking process?
Well, the matchmaking, I haven't matchmade in about 6 years, but the process is, let me just give you a little bit of background on that. I became, a degree in clinical psychology, became, mental toughness coach, because people come to me wanting to get matchmaking. I'm like, oh, absolutely not. I'm not putting my name on you. You need to be matched with yourself first, and you need some help. So I found myself doing with the process up front. I have to really get to know you, your mindset, your stuff, and see if there's some that while we're going through this matchmaking process that you really need practice in, practice, not getting so jealous, you thirst, all of that. You need to really, you're lazy, you're not getting up, okay, you're trying to get in a relationship, you gotta do what, because, people think that they can get in a relationship and I'm gonna just be me. That's cool, you could be you, because I'm gonna be me, the laugh, the funny, the this, the that, that's fine. But I have to be me, and I have to up my commitment. So the commitment is different. Me becomes different. Me becomes even more, because now it's me and you. So there's a process of me and you that we would have to go through before we even get to the process of you about to be with somebody. That's how, because people think that they want to be, you want to be with somebody, of course, but a lot of people don't have the ability. Okay, so we got to check ability first and see, are you even able? Because I want to make sure that you're in a healthy relationship. I match made 19 people, 17 are still together to this day, because I stay in their relationship and for relationship maintenance. It's just not, oh, I match you, that's it, you gone,
It's like, hey, peace. You're on your own now.
Yeah, exactly. And keep giving them the tools that they need to continue to grow in it, and to grow and to continue in that relationship as well. So it's got to be a me and you, and to see if you even match with you before I even just start bringing out people for you to be with. Yeah. Because, people be like, oh, I got with this, such and such, oh, he crazy. Yeah, okay.
She said, you ain't going to give me no bad Google.
No. No!
For folks who want your help, how can they contact you? How can they get in touch?
You can get in touch at www.Ms.Hitch.com. I'm Ms. Hitch everywhere. Ms. Hitch is trademarked. So Ms. Hitch is trademarked, and it's about to be trademarked in the back of your mind, because I'm coming with some big stuff. So get ready for that too, because I'm definitely about to take over the world. People all over the world. Okay, you have people all over the world.
Any more books? Anything else coming?
And then, Instagram, Ms. Hitch, at Ms. Hitch. You guys want to find, I'm not real active on Instagram, but I will be, so I'm not like a whole social media type thing. I need to become more. I'm coming, I'm more, trying to help these people out here. But, so Ms. Hitch everywhere. Yeah. Ms.Hitch.com website. You can, if you need to get in contact with me, you can use the contact form, if you need something. And that's it. Ms. Hitch all over.
When we gonna get that wild married woman cheat book? When we gonna get that?
Oh, right. How you know? Who told you that was
Listen,
coming?
ain't nobody told me.
Hey, who
I'm
told
putting it in the actual script.
No, that's definitely. I have Why Marry. I have a slew of about 11 books. It's coming.
I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm like, okay.
Why
There
Marry
you go.
is coming. I'm actually redoing Why Married Men Cheat. I'm gonna drop a second edition of that. That's in the works right now as we speak. And then I'm dropping the reason and excuses on Why Married Men Cheat, because they do have their reasons and their excuses. Okay. And then I'm dropping Why Married Women Cheat. Okay. And I got a book coming, Becoming Unaddicted. That's gonna I'm gonna so just get ready, because I'm gonna come out like a boom, and you're gonna be like, oh, she hit me upside the head. Whoop. Yep.
We're gonna have to bring you back. We're gonna have to get into all of that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hitch. You stay safe, you stay blessed. Blessings to you. Thank you for everything you have given us in this conversation.
Thanks,
for those who are listening, for those who are watching, if you missed any of the conversation with Ms. Hitch, okay, it will be available wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio at midnight. Thank you so much, Ms. Hitch.
Thanks.
You stay safe.
Me too. Come here. Boom. Your timeline. All right.
I love it. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Blessings, Queen.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.